Okay, in a series that we've been learning about coming to Mashiach, we've seen a pattern that, on the one hand, the days of Mashiach are characterized by Hashem's glory being revealed in the physical world. On the other hand, the revelation of godliness won't be something that's limited according to the confines, according to the limitations of nature. It'll be something which is beyond nature. And that's why the third base of Mikdash is actually called the triple base of Mikdash.
The definition of nature changed. Is that because it seems to be, obviously, godliness is always going to be a podcast, no matter which way we look at it.
We're going to get there. Good question. Good question.
Okay.
Explain your question.
That's what, right now we understand this is a table.
Oh.
Okay, godliness, we have to imagine about it, whatever that is. Okay, so the way you explain it seems to me the definition of what the limitation of the table is going to change in order for me to be able to comprehend the level of godliness at some level, whatever that is.
Right. So
is this table, chair, physicality, my hand.
So that's why in the previous classes we saw that it seems to be one or the other. If we give the analogy of the teacher and the student, either the teacher is going to explain to the student something on the student's level, and help the student go from step to step, or the teacher is just going to give his own insights into an idea which is beyond the student. So the first base of Mikdash, we learned that called first, number one, because it's coming from on high. It's not something that the world is a vessel for. It's a higher kind of revelation. And the second base of Mikdash is more about the world being elevated, the world being purified, to be able to perceive godliness, which is there's advantage. The limitation changes. But on the other hand, the kind of whatever the student is able to understand, the teacher guiding him, is negligible compared to the teacher's own insights that the teacher could convey to the student. The student could just hear the teacher saying things without the student being changed at all. So it seems the first base of Mikdash has an advantage; it's a higher revelation. And second base of Mikdash has an advantage is that the world is a vessel for the world. The Jewish people did tshuva, and they were to absorb something higher, something deeper, because the world was elevated. So those are the two models of the first and second base of Mikdash. The people were elevated, and the world was elevated. That's why we learned that the second base of Mikdash lasted longer, and it was a larger building, representing as emblematic of the kind of revelation of the second base of Mikdash that the world was a vessel for it, a higher kind of the world was elevated. The world was a higher kind of world. But as high as the world could be, it's limited to what the world can do, what the Jewish people could do, what a human being could do. Versus the first base of Mikdash was just revelation from on high without reckoning with what the limitations of the world are. What's unique about the third base of Mikdash is that's called the triple base of Mikdash. That will have on the one hand this higher godly revelation which has nothing to do with the parameters of what we could achieve. On the other hand, it will be something that we'll be able to completely absorb with the current nature of the world. The nature won't change. We'll hold on to the question. We'll see. It's fascinating. So this will help us understand two opposite things we find about the third base of Mikdash. On the one hand, Maimonides rules in several places that who is going to build the base of Mikdash? Mashiach will build the base of Mikdash. On the other hand, it says that it says that the third base of Mikdash is built in heaven, will be revealed from heaven. Rashi and Tesis explain Talmud that way. It says clearly in the Torah, Mikdash Hashem Kain Yodecha, a Mikdash that God will build with his hands. So how do these two things come together? Either Hashem's going to build the base of Mikdash or Mashiach will build the base of Mikdash. Which one is it? So to understand this, let's look at in general what we know about the building of the third base of Mikdash. The entire tractate of Midas discusses the building of the base of Mikdash. As the Tesis Yontif writes in the introduction to Masechet Midas, he says that if we would not have this tractate, we will not find our hands and feet. When Mashiach will come, we'll have no idea how to begin. That's the purpose of Masechet Midas, to tell us how to.
We're not going to have it.
Right. We have this mitzvah to build a base of Mikdash. We won't know how to do it. That's the purpose of this Masechta, to give us some insight how to build a third Beis Hamikdash. The problem is, Masechta Midas and is about the second Beis Hamikdash, not the third. And the reason why it's not about the third is because we don't actually know. We know a lot about the third. The fundamentals of the third Beis Hamikdash are similar to that of the second, but there are many verses in Ezekiel and Yechezkel that we don't know yet the meaning for them. So Yosef Yantiv says that Hashem gave. So what's the purpose of Masechta Midas then? Well, if it's not, it doesn't tell us how to do it. So Yosef Yantiv answers that Hashem revealed to us in Masechta Midas, in the second Beis Hamikdash, the fundamentals of it, and then whatever is hidden will be revealed in Mashiach will come. It doesn't fully answer. It's like you don't know how to set a table, and you know where the spoons go, but how are you supposed to set the table? Because the spoons might go in the same place as the forks, and the spoons aren't in the same place as the forks, but you're not able to do the whole thing. What's going on over here? There's some things.
Sorry, what's the limitation of doing the whole thing?
Because we don't know the meaning of what Yechezkel says. So Mashiach will come. We only know
dependent on Mashiach explaining to us
what the third Beis Hamikdash,
what those
verses are.
Right.
We only know some of the things. We know some things from Masechta Midas, how the generalities of the third Beis Hamikdash, but there are many details that we don't know the meaning of till Mashiach will come. So the question is, so what exactly is Masechta Midas giving us if it's not giving us the whole picture? So Chassidus takes a little bit of a slight nuance in the words of the Yosef Yantiv. It's not that when Mashiach will come, there'll be hidden things that will be discovered. There are some things that are hidden today, and we'll discover what the meaning is of those hidden things. Chassidus says there are some things which are hidden beyond the human being completely. In other words, not just that we don't know what they are. They can't be known. They're higher than being known. It's impossible for a human being to know them.
Our Kli is not capable.
Right. Our vessel, our humanness is not a vessel to receive those things. And Mashiach will come, he'll reveal to us those higher things. So yet, there's some things that we are meant to do ourselves. When we do the things ourselves, then Hashem will reveal to us the higher things. So there's this interesting composition over here. We are getting involved to as far as we can reach. Then Hashem will reveal to us higher things that we cannot reach. It's analogous to the laws of sacrifice.
This is again talking in the time of Mashiach.
Yeah.
It seems like a continuation of today.
Right. So for example, it says about the Beis Hamikdash that how the fire come down in the Beis Hamikdash. It says they first offered a fire on the altar, and then another fire came down from heaven. What's the purpose of bringing a human fire when the fire is coming out from heaven? And the answer is no. Hashem says, you have to do whatever you could do as a human being. You have to bring a fire from earth. And then Hashem will bring the fire from heaven. This explains also in regards to the contradiction about the building of the Beis Hamikdash. There is a mitzvah building the Beis Hamikdash. So the Rambam describes what the role of human beings is in building the Beis Hamikdash. Mashiach will the Beis Hamikdash. But then there's another element of the Beis Hamikdash which is not something human being can do. And that's what the Zohar and the Medrash and the Yishalom and the Gemara talk about, this higher revelation of godliness that will come in Beis Hamikdash as a result of Hashem bringing something in that we can't bring on our own. So there's something that we could do and we need to do, and there's something that we cannot do, and Hashem gives
We
it.
don't know what that is.
Right, and not only we don't know, we can't know what it is. It's impossible. Dvar Masum, it's hidden, not just hidden from us, it's hidden. So this will help us understand the more fundamental thing about the coming Mashiach. So on the surface, what do we have so far? We have that there's a human part of building Beis Hamikdash, and there's a divine part of building Beis Hamikdash.
There was Mashiach in between.
And Mashiach is representing the human being. He's representing the Jewish people. He is the one who has a mitzvah. He is the one who helps us fulfill the mitzvah of building Beis Hamikdash. And Hashem reveals something higher. There is a line in Maimonides describing coming Mashiach, which seems to be very uncharacteristic of what we would think about the days of Mashiach. And the Rambam presents it as the most fundamental things of the coming Mashiach. The Rambam says, Al Yalalas, don't ever think that when Mashiach will come, that things will change the nature of the world. The world will go on the way it is, and the only thing difference will be is that we won't be subservient anymore to the nations of the world. There'll be peace. a real peace. So the question is, yeah, Chas will not end up in pieces. So the question is, why is that so important? The coming of Mashiach. Why is that the thing? Why is that the Mashiach that we're waiting for? The one that the world runs according to its nature.
What's the spiritual about the peace time?
What's so spiritual about the world continuing its nature?
Right. I mean, yeah.
What's so good about that? And guess what? Mashiach there won't be any miracles.
Why can't we have it today?
I mean, the Rebbe Taka says when you talk to the children about Mashiach, should get them excited about the coming of Mashiach. Should tell them when Mashiach comes, there'll be candles, and there'll be plenty of candles, and that's important. And yeah, speaking the language of people, they should want Mashiach according to their understanding. And if Mashiach comes, so let's mention that Mashiach comes, everyone's going to have their hearts fulfilled for good, and there will be a wonder of just will feel good in a way that we never felt before. That's a reality. But the reason I'm emphasizes that Mashiach will come, the world will run according to nature, is because of what the inner meaning of what Mashiach is about and what creation is. What do we learn? What's the purpose of creation? The purpose of creation is that Hashem wants a home in the lowest realm. Revelation in the higher worlds is not the full revelation of godliness, no matter how great the higher worlds are. And where does Hashem want a home? Home means when you're in a home, you're fully expressed, you're fully relaxed and full expression of who you are. So too, when we say Hashem wants a home in this world, what that means is Hashem wants to be fully expressed in this world. There should be a full expression of Hashem in the physical world. His essence should be revealed in the world. So, what's the difference between the way Hashem reveals himself in the creation of nature versus the way Hashem reveals himself in a miracle? On the surface, it looks like a miracle is higher. But in reality, a miracle is actually a little bit away from the purpose of creation. Let me explain. The Hebrew word for nature, tava, comes from the same word as submerged. So what that means is the godly energy in nature, godly energy in the world, is the same as the godly energy in a miracle. The word Hebrew word for miracle is nace. Nace means something which is a banner you can see from far away. They're both in nature and in a miracle. They're the same godliness is present, except for the fact that in a miracle it's open and clear. You can see from far away. This is something which is coming from Hashem. Versus in nature, it's when something's in the water, it's fully there in the water. Nothing is not one iota of the thing is diminished by being in the water, but you don't see anything of it at all. So when we say that Mashiach will come, the world will run according to nature. That's actually a virtue. Why is that a virtue? We were discussing last week in Basilgani about the splitting of the Red Sea. On the one hand, the splitting of the Red Sea is an open miracle. Hashem is fully expressed in that miracle. You could see godliness in that miracle. On the other hand, that revelation of godliness that happened in the splitting of the Red Sea, if we were to try to understand what happened, we wouldn't be able to. We won't be able to know exactly what happened. We would just know what is happening as a result of something that is going on behind the scenes. The actual, whatever happens in this world starts in the higher world. So let's say this. In the higher world, there's also a godly revelation. There's also of something being hidden, which is revealed. But in the higher worlds, the godly revelation, the splitting of the Red Sea, wasn't in a way that it broke the higher worlds. In this world, this godly revelation was in a way that we had no understanding of what was going on. We just saw the result of the godly revelation. But we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know what was making the sea stand like a wall. We just saw the result of it. We didn't see the electricity that made this change in the physical world. We just saw the result. Versus in the higher worlds,
see the skin, see the
right. So
see the darkness.
So in the splitting of the Red Sea, or in the miracle of resurrection of the dead, that you could see what happened. You could see someone got out from the dead. You could see the water splitting, but you don't know how that's happening. So in a way, the story of Purim, where every event in the story of Purim, you know what happened, you know how it happened. You could say from Vayihi till Zari exactly the story of Purim is happening, what's going on at every step of the moment. So on one hand, that's more revealed to you. You know what's going on. Versus splitting of the Red Sea, you don't know what's going on. You know the result of what's going on. There's a godly revelation and shattering the world. So that's not really the purpose of creation. The purpose of creation is that Hashem wants a home in the physical world. That the godly revelation should be within nature. that the world should remain a world. And Hashem's revelation should be, Hashem should have a home in the world as a world as a world. Getting back to your question, so therefore the goal of creation is that the world should have the same space and time that it had before. And yet in that space, in that time, without it breaking, Hashem should be fully revealed. So that's seen also in this halakha and Rambam, the Mashiach of both Beis Hamikdash. It's about the world becoming a vessel for this revelation. On the other hand, that's only step one.
This is the creation of Hashem. Why do we need to wait for something? Why does it need to be all of a sudden? Why can't it change now?
We want Mashiach now? I'm into it. What's your question?
It seems to me there's something that needs to happen, whatever that is, that will bring us into this new era, this new.
Good. So it says in chapter 36 in time that the revelation of godliness that happened when Hashem gave us the Torah, that was coming from on high. The world wasn't a vessel for it.
Right.
And Hashem empowered us through, and Hashem made that revelation. That revelation contained all of time, contained all of space. That's why when Hashem made the revelation, we heard the voice of Hashem from all directions, because it affected all of space. And that's why, as we learned last week, when Hashem gave us the Torah, it says on that day they came to Mount Sinai. It actually says every day you have to feel this is the day we came to Mount Sinai. This is the day Hashem gave us the Torah. Why? Because the godly revelation, it permeated all of space, all of time. That's why there's no echo. But it didn't permeate in a way that it was revealed. It's permeated in a way that's possible for us now to turn mitzvahs to bring Hashem's light in the world. So through the Torah mitzvah, Jewish people throughout history, they are creating this, they're elevating the world so the world can be a vessel for this revelation. So the third Beis Hamikdash has in it both components, higher revelation, and it'll be in the physical world. So it doesn't mean that Mashiach will come, there won't be any miracles. As we know, one of the principles of our faith is resurrection of the dead. But the definition of the coming of Mashiach, what is Mashiach about? It's about the godly revelation in nature, in a way that we'll understand what's going on, and in a way that the world is a vessel for it.
Since Hashem created the limitation is also part of Hashem's creation. It's not something we create.
That's what we're saying. So, therefore, the nature will continue. That's why the Rambam says the definition of coming Mashiach will still be nature. Why is that part of the definition of Mashiach? Because the definition of the purpose of creation is that the world itself be a vessel for godliness. Later, the world will ascend and be able to also retain in it higher miracles. But the Rebbe actually said many, many times that although the Gemara says that there are two ways Mashiach will come, either Mashiach will come riding on a donkey, or Mashiach will come with clouds from heaven. And the Gemara says it depends whether we will merit or whether we won't merit. If we will merit, then Mashiach will come from heaven. If we won't merit, then Mashiach will come riding on a donkey. So Chassidus explains that the words merit and not merit also mean the word purify. That eventually the world will be purified in a way that we'll be able to be a vessel for the higher revelation of godliness that today we call miraculous. That the resurrection of the dead and splitting the Red Sea will be something that fits that the nature of the world will be elevated in a way that will make sense to us. That that a miracle beyond nature will actually fit within the confines of the world somehow. The elevation of the world will be, the elevation of nature will be in a way that a supernatural miracle will be natural. It's not that a supernatural miracle will yet be natural. Yeah. The world will be elevated in a way that the world will be able to harness this higher revelation. But we'll get to that next class. But for today, let's just say the reason that Maimonides says that the coming Mashiach is characterized by the world not changing, because the goal of creation is Hashem wants a home in the lowest realm, as it is a lowest realm. So if the relation has to shatter the world, has to break the world, that's not a home in the lowest realm. The goal is that the relationship, and therefore, lo yizachu, if the world's not purified, so then the I'm getting ahead of myself next class. Yeah. So the donkey, the Hebrew word donkey means material. If the material isn't elevated yet, so then revelation is according to what the confines of nature are today. After the world has been elevated somewhat, we'll see in the next classes. After the world is elevated to a higher level, then the world will be able to accept the supernatural miracles in the confines and limitations of time and space that exist today. the world's elevation will allow it to have the infinite godly revelation in the limitations of nature. So Zachu, once the world has been not just meritorious, once there is a refinement in creation, there could be an infinite revelation in the world and still not a shadow of the world. That's something new. That's an additional grace. But the simple halach definition of coming Mashiach is that the godly revelation will fit within the confines of the world. That's what Mashiach is about. The home for Hashem in the world. Eventually, the world will also be able to receive, and the Rebbe said that we've already had this merit, and we're ready to go straight to this period immediately. Resurrection, that will happen. Mashiach comes immediately. All the miracles happen immediately because we already have this merit. The world's already been elevated. So we're going to have the infinite revelation, which is ordinarily called a miraculous, higher kind of revelation, and yet the world will be about support. Hashem will get to the next class. I went a little bit ahead of myself. I hope
For the generation, I think it doesn't apply. It's also a fact. She has to come. Part of the intimidation.
Rolls Royce Phantom.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Right.
how is it, maybe you can include it, maybe it's hard. It seems to me that today, the person is on public, doesn't have public, doesn't have, poor person doesn't have any money. All of a sudden he has money. Month, 2, 3, 6 months, a year later, he's used to that level of money. You go back to the anxiety or whatever it is, to different kinds of, how is that?
Rabbi has 100, wants 200.
Yeah, so, but the 100 doesn't mean anything to you anymore.
Right.
You have the 100 that doesn't.
You want 200.
How is that going to be different? How are we going to be changed spiritually? So we would appreciate that spiritually. Because nowadays we have spiritually, the availability of spirituality. Each person within us can become higher level of spirituality and higher level, and they get claim and we're claim. But many times, okay, so we daven beautifully, and for the first week it means the world to us, and the second week it's what is it?
What if every week you made double his money?
But that's the point. So it has to. All of this is within you. It's nothing to do with the table, the money, or how you davening. If so it's up to you to take every day before you davening to make the avodah and to pay attention to it, so you can daven at the same excitement that it was a week or two ago. Not a different excitement without creating new davening and new. Nowadays you have to keep on changing the rules of the game in order to make it interesting. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything to you. A month, 2, 3. So it seems to me that it has to be something changed. That big spirituality, a month later, I see godliness, beautiful. I see godliness on the table. I see it. A month later, it needs to still mean to me, oh, Admiral is here.
That's the ultimate chayil koil. Mashiach will get constantly going higher and higher.
But that's the point. Yeah, but how is that going to be different than whether you can do chayil today too?
Mashiach comes will have major steps.
It's
Only.
Miss Martin.
You got it right, Abel.